Nos da mucho gusto presentarles el día de hoy a Lance Spitzner, él es director de SAN Securing the Human, en donde se ofrecen sensibilización y formación en seguridad de la información. Él, Lance Spitzner, inventó el concepto HoneyNet y fundó el proyecto HoneyNet. El día de hoy nos presenta el tema sobre campañas de concienciación de seguridad, Making Awareness Stick. Welcome, Mr. Spitzner. You can begin now.
So I speak a little slower.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you can start. Thank you.
All done?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, muchas gracias. Buenos dias. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. Is this on? It does not matter. Okay. The advantage of being an American, we tend to be very loud. All right, well, thank you so much for inviting me to Mexico City. This is one of my favorite cities in the world. In fact, when my wife found out that I was coming to the UNAM CERT conference, she insisted that she come here also. So my wife and son are here, and he's learning Spanish. So once again, thank you so much. As mentioned, my name is Lance Spitzner. I am the director at SAN Securing the Human. My job and my passion is traveling the world, helping organizations secure the human part of their organization. My background is technology. I was a security geek for about 15 years. But for the past 5 to 10 years, I focused on the human element. And I'm here to share with you some of my lessons learned when it comes to people and the human side of security. Far too often, we focus on just technology and we forget about the people. And in the long run, people are the most important part. So my information is here. My email address is here. If you ever have any questions, want to email me, I would love to hear from you. So let's get started first with the problem. 15 to 20 years ago, it was very easy to hack any operating system. In 2000, you could take a default installation of Windows NT, connect it to the internet, and it would be hacked in minutes. Bad guys were hacking computers because computers store, process, and transfer information. Microsoft felt a lot of pain. And over the past 15 years, Microsoft has done tremendous work securing Windows operating system. Look, in the past 15 years, everything they've done to secure Windows. This is just a high-level overview. Nowadays, if you connect any Windows computer to the internet, it takes months, if not years, before it's hacked. That's because Windows computers are very, very secure nowadays. So now the bad guys have changed, and instead of trying to hack computers, they hack people. You and I are just another computer. You and I store, process, and transfer information. We are all the human operating system, or human OS. What have we done to secure the human OS in the past 15 years? Nothing. In the past 15 years, we, the security community, have done nothing to secure the human OS. So, when you hear security geeks saying people are the problem, they say it's people's fault. Or quite often in America, I hear security geeks say you can't patch people, or you cannot patch stupidity. I tell these security geeks to look in the mirror. People are not the problem. The security geeks, we are the problem. We've done nothing to secure the human operating system. It is our fault. That is why I'm here. That is my goal and passion. Technology is important. We must secure technology. But technology exists to enable people to do things. As such, we cannot forget about people when it comes to security. That is why I want to change this and start securing the human operating system. Now, how do we secure people? It's not a patch, it's training and education. Ultimately, to secure people like you and I, we have to change our behaviors. Organizations do this with security awareness programs, reaching out to, teaching, and educating. Many organizations have awareness programs, but they're not working. They fail. This is a maturity model that shows very poor or immature awareness programs to all the way to very secure or very mature awareness programs. Many organizations have an awareness program, but it's very basic, developed by auditors, for compliance, to check the box. They're not designed to change behavior, only designed to make auditors happy. Now, compliance is important, but organizations around the world are taking it to the next level and not worrying just about compliance, but changing behavior and ultimately culture. This is where you get death by PowerPoint once a year. It will not change behavior, but it checks the box. This is where I'm passionate and focused about. Always reaching out to, educating, engaging people, and ultimately changing behavior. The reason awareness programs have failed in the past is because we have not focused on changing behavior. What is behavior? Now, look at this. We're at a security conference and we're talking about behavior. I'm trying to get us to think a little differently. There's a PhD, Dr. B.J. Fogg, Stanford University. For 20 years, he studied human behavior to get people to change behavior. And this is not just for security, but this could be for your kids or for your spouse. To get someone to change behavior, he came up with a very simple model. B equals MAT. For a behavior, people have to be motivated, have the ability, and the trigger or prompt to change the behavior. So the model says this, and it's common sense. The more motivated someone is, and the easier something is to do, the more likely they will change their behavior when the trigger or prompt happens. Harder something to do, less motivated, less likely to change behavior. Security geeks think people are not motivated to change behavior. So we beat them on the head. Change behavior. It's important. Turns out most people do care about security. They want to use the internet safely. The problem is, for us geeks, we think security is simple. Complex passwords, encryption, all simple. But to most people, it's very hard. So we think security is easy to do, change behavior. Most people find it hard to do. There's a term for this. What happens is this: curse of knowledge. Curse of knowledge says that more of an expert you are at something, the worse you are at communicating it. This is why I feel many times security geeks like me are the worst people to talk about or communicate security, because we think it's easy when it's really hard for people. Where most security awareness programs fail is communication. It's not what we want people to do, it's how we communicate it. That's why awareness does not stick. Think about it. Who is in charge of most security awareness programs? Security geeks. Who are the world's worst communicators? Security geeks. In fact, we are taught not to communicate. In America, we have a saying: loose lips sink ships. It comes from World War II, where people would talk too much, the enemy learns, and then they can act on that. So what I'm seeing now is organizations creating security communications officers, people who are not security geeks, but marketing backgrounds, advertising, public relations. This is why to date, most security awareness programs have failed. We surveyed 300 security awareness officers. We asked, what is your background? Almost all of them said information security. So their title was like IT security analyst or other. Other was webmaster, email administrator, database administrator. 80 to 90% of the people in charge of security awareness programs all had highly technical backgrounds, no communications experience. I'm beginning to think the best people to put in charge of your security awareness program are people with no security background. The security geeks on your team tell the security awareness officer what is important and what to communicate. Then have the communications officer translate that into simple, everyday language that people can easily understand. So anybody out here with a communications background? Who has there's one, two, three. Hey guys, a little secret. If you noticed, most of the people that raise their hand are the ladies. It's the ladies that have all of the communications background. So guys, if you're tired of working with other geeky guys, be like me. Get involved in security awareness. That is where all the ladies are. So, one of the key things about security and getting people to care is answer the question, why? Why should I care about security? We forget to answer this. We are security geeks. We think everybody knows this. We have to answer it. To really explain why, do not use numbers. Do not rationalize. Communicate at an emotional level. This is where you have an advantage. Americans, we're very boring. Latino culture, very emotional. This is where you are experts. Use that. Let me give you an example. First of all, think about the culture of your organization. So, security geeks, if you want to get involved in awareness, great. We just have to go out of your comfort zone and learn new concepts like culture. Culture means what people think, what people believe, what is considered normal in your organization. So what ends up happening is you have to know and understand the culture of your organization. And there are two types of cultures in general for organizations. And this is how I'll show you how you can reach people emotionally. First of all, conservative. Conservative is organizations that are boring. So law firms, defense, government, let's see here, financial. How many of you have a conservative culture in your organization? Who are the conservative cultures? Show of hands here. Okay, lots of hands. If your organization is conservative, I tend to find people want training professional, subdued, nothing funny, no humor. Tends to be older generation. They like to read things. They like to work with people. It's a lot of policy and processes. This can be an advantage, though. If your organization is conservative, it's easy to stand out. Just be a little funny or do something a little different to get people's attention. Compare this to organizations that are outgoing. If your organization is outgoing, then what you do is technology. These tends to be organizations like startups, let's see here, technology companies, universities, marketing firms. Classic example, Facebook. In these organizations, you'll want to use social media, online video training, mobile devices, use humor. Tends to be younger generation. They do not want to read. They want to watch on their iPhone and using things like humor. I'm going to give you an example of how, if you know your organization, you can reach people. One of the #1 ways we have seen where you can reach people and engage is this. This works across any country, any industry. Think about this. The technology that people use at work is the same technology they use at home. The same risks at work are the same risks at home. So what happens is this. Instead of teaching employees and staff how to be secure at work, teach them how to be secure at home. Because once they're secure at home and they have those secure behaviors, they're now more likely to be secure at work. But more important, they're more likely to listen if you talk about their personal lives. So what I see organizations doing around the world is not talking about how to make the company secure, but how to shop online securely, how to secure your tablet, how to secure your smartphone, your kids. By focusing on people's personal lives, people more likely to listen, more likely to change behavior. Let me give you an example of how an organization reached out to people by knowing and understanding their audience and reaching them at a personal level. In the United States, we have an organization called CDC, Center for Disease Control. They have a big awareness campaign on how to prepare for disasters. Flood, tsunami, tornado, earthquake, does not matter. You prepare for disasters the same way. 1 gallon of water per person per day. Blankets, batteries, flashlights. Nobody was listening to their awareness campaign. One day in 2013, they decided to change for their audience. And their awareness campaign was not how to prepare for tornadoes or earthquakes, how to prepare for the zombie apocalypse. 3 hours after the blog, it was a blog, went live, their entire network collapsed. Literally. Why? Why did it collapse? Yeah, it went viral. Everybody went to the website. In fact, 2 days after the publication, they had to make an official announcement. Any idea what? Zombies do not exist. But people were now listening because you go to the website, and I believe this is in Spanish also. They just, how to prepare for zombies, 1 gallon of water per person per day, batteries, flashlights, things like that. So by understanding their audience and talking to them in their own terms at a personal level, people were listening. Now, there's many other ways you can reach out to people. Posters, newsletters, screensavers. If you like, there's a free monthly security awareness newsletter put out with a partnership between SANS Securing the Human and the UNAM CERT team, the OUCH newsletter. The OUCH newsletter comes in 25 languages, including Spanish. So you can share this with family and friends. All right, what's the title on this one? I forget. What's that? There you go. Okay. See, shopping securely online. Your spouse will love this. Give it to her, especially now with everyone shopping online. Or here, protecting your kids. This was a poster from GM Financial. Great way. But there are so many other ways to reach out to people, to communicate, besides just newsletters, posters, and screensavers. I'm going to just share some quick examples other organizations are doing. Some organizations have mascots or taglines. This is Turkish. If you are having hard time reading it, don't feel bad. But in Turkey, the main telco, they have a mascot, and the mascot communicates to the people what they should and should not be doing. And what this guy is saying is he likes this person's desk because they left lots of sensitive information that he can eat. So he is happy. So this is bad. This is good. The employee put all of the sensitive documents away. And now he is very sad because he has nothing to eat. So organizations are creating mascots to create an entire campaign. Whenever in Turkey, whenever they see this guy, they know it's about security awareness, and they keep it fun. They keep it friendly, a furry little creature. Sometimes us security people can be scary. We don't think we are scary, but people do not like talking to us. Having a friendly little character share security information might work better in your organization. Remember earlier I said cultures play a big role? I tend to find mascots work better in outgoing cultures. Younger generation, technology companies. This is from a telco. Something else you can do. Ambassadors, organizations around the world are teaching volunteers, employees, basic security skills. They then become ambassadors and then talk to their peers and coworkers. Because just one security awareness officer cannot reach everyone in the company. So by developing ambassadors and teaching people about security, they become embedded throughout the organization, helping spread the security information. Once again, we are learning. People sometimes do not listen to security geeks, but they will listen to their coworkers, these ambassadors that talk about security. And this is very cheap to do. Gamification. Salesforce does this. They have made security a game. You win points. You earn badges. You go up levels by exhibiting or doing secure behaviors. Now, Salesforce is a technology company. They take security very seriously. For example, there is 14,000 employees, and 4 people are dedicated to security awareness. Not 4 people to security, 4 people to security awareness for 14,000 employees. But they have developed a game where all the employees, as they do things securely, like showing their badge when they go to work, developing secure code, using strong passwords, or helping other people become secure, they get more points and recognition. So it's gamification, making being secure fun and recognized for it. Finally, one more trick. Often, your boss or senior leadership, they want your organization to be secure. They want to support the security team, but they don't know how to communicate that. They don't know what to say. So teach your senior leadership, teach your executives how to best communicate security is important. For example, boss, whenever you talk about security, say these 3 things. Or boss, whenever you come into the company office, use your badge. Sometimes training the senior leadership executives can be hard. So go through their executive assistants. Teach or train the assistants, the people that help the executives. Sometimes leadership is less likely to listen to you and more likely to listen to their assistants they depend on every day. All right, this is just a very high-level overview. If nothing else, the key thing to take away from this talk is this. Unless we start also addressing and securing the human operating system, no matter how much technology we use, our organization will always be insecure. And to secure the human operating system, we have to change their behaviors, and the only way we can do that is through effective communication. That's it. Muchas gracias. All done?
Thank you so much. Question and answer session?
That's up to El Jefe.
No, it's okay.
Do you want to do questions? Okay.
So here you're going to hear the question
Okay.
in English. Okay, you're going to make the question in Spanish and you do.
Sounds good. So we have time for questions? Any questions, please?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Preguntarle en español y la va a escuchar en inglés.
Okay. What do you think about live demos on the security awareness trainings?
Live demos?
Yes, like setting up a row IP or something like that.
So very good question. The question was, what do you think about live demos? I think sometimes live demos can be very good. Sometimes people do not realize how easy it is for the bad guys to hack them. But 2 things. I would recommend never embarrass anyone. So for example, phishing emails, all right? When you send out a phishing email to test to see who falls victim, do not send out a phishing email about Viagra or mail order Russian brides. If your boss falls victim, very bad. The other thing is, I'm so glad you asked this, is sometimes when we talk about security awareness, we focus a lot on the bad guys and how they hack into people. It's important. We have to explain the why. But sometimes we focus too much on the bad and not enough on the good, what people can do. When I first started, I made a very bad mistake. I spent 50% of my time explaining how bad guys hack us, and 50% of my time what we can do to protect ourselves. People became so frightened, they would not use technology. So I learned I only spend 20 to 30% of time about bad guys and how they hack, 70 to 80% of time on what we can do to protect ourselves. And remember, we do not want to scare people off. We want them to use their mobile device. We want them to use Facebook and social media. We want them to shop online. We just want them to do it securely. That is our job. So very good question. I like live demos. Just don't embarrass anyone and don't just focus on the bad. But muchas gracias.
Otra pregunta, por favor.
Any more questions? If not,
I have a question.
there is?
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Just me. Hello, Nancy.
Oh,
I want to make a question. I want you to talk us about for information security pros. I think they really want to get involved into communication strategies. But as, for example, we the communication people have the same problem that security information pros have when talking to management. We cannot understand each other. So how can communication guys talk to security professionals in order to build only communication strategy to be effective?
very good question. So once again, security guys are very bad communicators. The problem is they don't know it. So what I'm trying to do is trying to communicate to security, train security guys. They need to learn about how to communicate. So my suggestion would be this. If you are a communications person and you want to help or talk to security guys, ask them to explain to you what they feel is important, and then you can show them how to translate that so the boss and or other people can understand it. The problem we face is security geeks are very technical, and they think quite often if somebody is not technical and does not understand security, then they can't be smart, because only smart people understand security. It's not always true, but it sometimes can be a problem. Really security nerdy guys can be arrogant. So what we need to do is help them understand, yes, they're very smart and they have great information, but they're not good at communicating it. So maybe say, I'll help you with the communication. The organizations that have the best security awareness programs, what they often do is they take a communications person from the communications team and stick them into or embed them into the security team. So where do you work?
At the NAMSER.
Okay, so do you work for the UNAM CERT team?
Yeah.
Perfect. Do the security geeks listen to you?
Most of the times, I'm very glad about it.
Okay. Geeks, listen to her. learn from her, and that this is wonderful. The model that UNAM CERT has, a communications expert on the security team, that is wonderful. That is what it would be great if lots of other organizations could be doing also. So you are headed in the right track. So one other thing, maybe you go talk to the security geeks and ask them, what can we, the communications people, do? So you'll talk to us. What can we do to help each other? Talk to the geeks.
Okay, thank you so much, Hans. ¿Alguien tiene alguna otra pregunta?
No, Ruben's like, get him off. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much.